Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. What would you guys say if I told you that there is a moon out there, a moon of the planet Saturn, that in a very likely and in all possible probability is artificial? So, Iapetus is the third largest natural satellite of Saturn, and it's the 11th largest in the solar system. Now, here's an image taken in December 2004, taken by the Cassini spacecraft, showing one of the most known features regarding Iapetus, which is this dramatic two-tone coloration to the moon. Basically, half of Iapetus is black as coal, and the other half, and I'm quoting another researcher here, is as white as fresh snow. So then in 2007, there were more discoveries made by Cassini, revealing an array of unusual and anomalous features around Iapetus that we're going to break down and go through right now. So first of all, the most amazing thing, the most anomalous and mysterious thing about this moon is what you're seeing in this image here of this massive ridge running along the equator, which stretches 3/4 of the way around the moon. Now, as you'll see in these various images showing this ridge, which you will not see on any other object in our solar system, or for that matter, ever been discovered. There is no other object that has a massive ridge stretching around the equator of an object. And by the way, this ridge that you're seeing in this image is 13,000 kilometers long, it's 20 kilometers wide, and it's 12 miles high. Now think about that for a second. 12 miles high. And some of the peaks in this ridge rise more than 20 kilometers above the surrounding plains. Now, as I stated earlier, and there's some very prominent researchers out there who have theorized that Iapetus is a constructed object. It's artificial. And once you finish this video and you put all these small pieces and clues together, I think you'll come to the same conclusion that, yeah, this is definitely strange and something's not adding up with this very particular moon. And it looks as if there were two separate pieces, and it's almost as if they were welded together. That's almost what it looks like here. Like there's a large welding mark wrapping around the crater as if there were two separate pieces that were cut down the middle and then connected together. Now, another very eerie thing about Iapetus is the fact that it is almost identical to the Death Star from the Star Wars films, as you're seeing here in this side-by-side comparison. I mean, you look at this image, and again, this is straight from Cassini. It's an official image. We will put the links to all of these images down in the video description. You can check them out for yourself. And as you're seeing, just as this supposedly fictional Death Star from the Star Wars films, Iapetus has this same massive line running, stretching around its equator, along with this massive crater up at the top, also identical to this Death Star here. And once again, we go back to Hollywood possibly drip feeding us small bits of truth. I mean, we didn't even have close-up images, supposedly, of Iapetus when the Star Wars films came out back in the 70s. And yet here we are, decades later, and we finally get some great close-up images, and it's identical to this fictional artificial weapon that is disguised as a planet in these Star Wars films. Some other very interesting things about Iapetus, and this has been brought up by a very, very brilliant man by the name of Richard Hoagland. Now, if you haven't watched or read any of Hoagland's stuff, I implore you to do so. He is a brilliant researcher. He has uncovered a mountain of evidence as it pertains to structures and bases on the moon and throughout various other objects in our solar system. And oddly enough, I actually just checked his website and it seems to be down for some reason. So I do hope that it comes back up. Do check it out. But Hoagland basically found out by analyzing this moon of Saturn that many of the craters on Iapetus, especially the most large and well-defined craters you're seeing in this image here, are hexagonal in shape, not circular. And as you're seeing in these outlined images, you can see the perfect hexagonal shape of this massive crater, as well as other craters on this so-called moon's surface. Now, maybe one hexagonal crater could be a coincidence, but 2, 3, 4, I mean, there are over 10 craters that I've found on Iapetus that are near perfect hexagons. And another thing we've talked about is the theory that some of these moons in our solar system, especially those like Iapetus and Phobos, and even our own moon, that may very well be artificial, seem to have metallic, artificial, angular structures, but have been covered up by a facade on the outside of these structures that allows them to look like normal moons. Just directly under that is the real structure, and that these have been made to blend in with the solar system and are basically utilizing these rocky surface features as camouflage. Another theory is that these are simply just ruins. Iapetus may have been at one time a very clear-cut, angular, artificial-looking structure that has been plagued by meteor strikes and abandoned a long time ago. Now, as we are talking about these angular and hexagonal craters, it was also found out that the actual diameter and outside shape of Iapetus is also in the form of a hexagon, a hexagonal sphere, as you're seeing in this image here, where you can clearly see the outline, the terminator line, is forming these razor-sharp right angles. It's not a perfect circle. There are angles to this moon. And again, Richard Hoagland has done a brilliant job in the analysis of the angular structure of Iapetus, and I urge all of you to check out his videos and the findings he's presented. So we have this moon here, and we have this long equatorial ridge stretching along dead center of the equator. Then we have this massive hexagonal crater. The largest crater on the moon is in the same position as this fictional Death Star from the Star Wars movie. Then we have these other hexagonal craters, and we have also found some structures inside of these hexagonal-shaped craters, one of which you're seeing here. And this is a feature that has seldom been mentioned, which is this 16-mile-long cigar-shaped structure sitting in the middle of this extremely oddly shaped crater. And then we have another finding of a towering structure coming up kilometers off of the surface of Iapetus, captured in this image here. And of course, if you watch our videos, you'll know that we have found these towers and these monoliths, as some have been called, on various bodies in our solar system, whether it be Mars, whether it be Mars's moon, Phobos, especially on our own moon. I mean, we've posted images where NASA has blurred out these towers. And these towers have been seen not only by NASA's imagery, but from Russian space probes, and the Chinese probes as well. So, we have this tower here sticking out like a sore thumb, and then we have found what looks like a massive saucer-shaped object sitting inside of a crater, which you're seeing in this image here. And as we slowly zoom in on it, and again, we will post the high-resolution image links to these in the video description, and as we zoom into the top of Iapetus here, you will begin to see, sitting in this crater, what looks like a massive saucer-shaped object. And you can see the surrounding crater around it. And this thing is obviously an object in and of itself. It's in the center of the crater. It's coming up out of the crater. The sunlight is hitting it. And it has a traditional saucer shape with what looks like a dome on the top. And on the outer ring of the saucer, we see more of a brighter texture, which is not uncommon with these saucers that basically are black or gray in color but have a white or lit outer ring. And this actually looks very similar to some saucer-shaped craft that were seen on the moon that we've documented in past videos. So again, the terrain of Iapetus is unlike any other moon terrain we've ever seen. I mean, it's about as alien as they come, as you're seeing in these images here. I mean, there's a lot of angular and just mixed up and mismatched terrain that just boggles the mind, and it's just, I honestly wish that I could travel to Iapetus. That would be one of my favorite moons, I'd have to say, in the entire solar system, that I wish that I could personally visit, land on the surface, and see what's there. So, let me know what you guys think. I mean, even to your basic, ordinary person who has never even heard of aliens or UFOs and knows nothing of this research, they look at Iapetus and they see this unusual structure, this moon that is a spitting image of the fictional Death Star from a Star Wars film, and you can look at that and say, alright, something's not right here. This looks artificial. This looks constructed. And then you add in all of the other evidence and oddities around it that we've spoken about in this video, and you come to a conclusion that something just doesn't seem right here. So, again, it's an amazing moon. It's a very interesting topic of discovery and research, so I urge you all to research other bodies in our solar system. There's a lot of mysterious stuff out there, and a lot of beautiful imagery for you guys to look over. So, again, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe on your way out. And stay tuned because we've got a lot more coming, and we'll see you back real soon. Stay safe, guys.